الذي ينير الدروب.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Pearls of Wisdom with myself, Zakira Shyrose here on Hidayat TV every Wednesday at 5 p.m. UK time. That's noon Toronto time. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much, as always, for your comments, your feedback, and your questions that come throughout our program. You're welcome to continue to send us those throughout our live program today. We are on YouTube, and you can send us your comments through there. I have an eye on that, at least here, but we're also on Facebook. Of course, we're also on Sky Channel and on Roku and Jadu and IPTV. Mashallah, everywhere Hidayat TV can be found. We're there. So please do send in your comments on YouTube. Oh, I'm watching that stream right here on my phone. So, mashallah, Pearls of Wisdom, as you know, is about interviewing incredible, multi-talented, extremely inspiring personalities from all walks of life. I mean, we've got people from all different faiths as well, professions, life experiences. And as you've seen over the last few months, we have been having conversations and amazing stories we've been hearing of unbelievable survival, high achievement, resilience, growth. It allows the viewers to reflect, process, gain pearls of wisdom about life together. These are not interviews, interrogations. These are conversations so that we can process this stuff together and come up with pearls of wisdom, which is the title of our program, right? And today's guest, subhanallah, someone that has very quickly, very fast, suddenly come on our TV screens and on our radio shows and podcasts at our centers all over England and other parts of the world. This new name, which is no longer a new name, it's a household name. Her name is Fahima Mahomed. And she is an incredible personality with so much about her that I don't think we have enough time to even talk about just her achievements, but we want to talk to her, absolutely. Let's show some pictures about Sister Fahima so that we can see her in action. Fahima Mahomed graduated with a business management degree. So she's got a business degree, right? And this is a Bachelor of Science and honors degree she did. And she's worked in a law firm. That's how she began, as a conveyancer, right? But then later, we'll find out what made her do this. She became a qualified life coach. This is a new term we've been hearing lately. And of course, we're going to talk to her and find out what this is all about. So she became a life coach and a certified, what is known as NLP Practitioner. That stands for a big mouthful, neuro-linguistic programming, right? So she's certified in mindfulness, right? And these buzzwords you hear in the field of psychology, they're very, this is the place to be right now, and the places that people, in every lecture, every pop psychology or very academic talk, it's always talking about these buzzwords: mindfulness, existential, positive psychology, group and facilitation psychology. This is all that she's certified in, mashallah. And she does this for companies and institutes. She does relationship and couples coaching. I would say that, there was a time when we would call it therapy. And that there was, of course, a very big stigma attached to, like, oh my God, you're in therapy. There must be something wrong with you. Now there's this new word. It's coaching, and parenting coach, couples coach, life coach, relationship coach. And it's just someone who probably, is giving you a pep talk and motivating you, but also in a very guided way, in a very educated, knowledgeable way. They're using a more informal approach, and yet they are doing absolutely what psychiatrists, psychologists, and those who are therapists do also, but they're doing it in a different way. I would say in a more approachable way and a more less stigmatized way. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll let Fahima tell us more about this. She's attended the Neuroscience of Change and Confidence program with what is known as ITS. That's the International Teachers Seminar. Already we're finding, subhanAllah, as we're talking about her, that this is a very educated young lady indeed. Fahima's research and the work that she does daily uh, is about continuous personal development journey for herself. And she always tries to be so current with knowledge and education to provide the best services for her clients. She very much does this full time, and she's taken time out of her very busy schedule to talk to us today. She has produced several TV channels, including Ahlul Bayt TV. That's the English one. Then there's Ahle Bayt TV, the Urdu one. Imam Hussein TV, with her own shows, and she's appeared on several more. I mean, now it's really hard to keep track of all the TV channels that she's on. She hosts a show right now, currently, called Single Muslim Live on British Muslim TV as the relationship coach for the singlemuslim.com app. We'll find out what that's all about when we talk to her. But let me tell you a little bit more about her, because I want to do justice to this guest here, who is so prolific, who has, in the last 4 years, really come up and changed the scene, I think, of broadcasting, of life coaching, of the kind of programs we're used to seeing on our Islamic channels. She currently hosts on different Sky channels with 2 live shows a week discussing current social issues. And often these are shows tackling very controversial topics. I would say, well, when we call things that are, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Sister Fahima touches those with a 10-foot pole, but she does this with great dignity and a real, understanding of what it means to be faith-based in a faith program, which can often be very conservative, and taboo topics need to be handled very gingerly. Otherwise, you can offend not only the people who are of faith, but also the people who are of different faiths. So you have to be politically correct in every way. And she can do that. And that's not an easy feat by any means. She's tackled many topics like divorce, muta, temporary marriage, intimacy in marriage, violence in a relationship. Recently, she talked about same-sex conversion therapy, which is banned, and about helping people who are attracted to the same sex, and how maybe we need to help if people want that help. Should that be still available or not to get over those attractions? So as you can see, I'm stammering trying to even put this in words. Sister Fahima does this, and more power to her. She has discussed the challenges of finding a partner during lockdown, and many mainstream media outlets such as the Metro Lifestyle, the Herald, Yorkshire Live UK, BBC Asian Network, press associations, BBC News, and many more. Wow. All I can say is, wow, subhanallah. She believes that everyone can empower themselves to achieve anything they set their mind to. She uses those NLP techniques that we mentioned in the beginning. She uses these to open, widen, and change mindsets to create new habits in order to live more, what she says are fulfilled and happier lives. So as a life coach, she's a catalyst. She assists her audience to tap into what she says is their own potential to achieve change. It's in them. She's helping them to get this desired outcome using whatever is in them, helping them to tap into all that stuff that has been lying dormant, and creating that personal and professional transformation in their lives. And she really does this in a very beautiful way. She has a natural ability. She is a natural. When you watch her on TV, with her smooth smile and her eloquence, and then put together with her skills and techniques and the tools that she has been empowered with, she's able to empower others to achieve anything they set their mind to. And she has her own website. It's www.coachfm.com, because that's her name, Fahima Mahomed. So it's FM. And of course, she's also available all over social media. She's on Insta, she's on Facebook, she's everywhere, mashallah. And we are just so blessed to have her here. And she is a person who has done this all very fast in her life. Absolutely. This has happened over the last 4 years. And when I was talking to her about herself, and I was saying, how do you do what you do? She was saying that, well, this was something that was needed, very much needed out there. And absolutely, she has shown us that when you see a gap out there, you do your part to fill those gaps, and that's when you become a trailblazer indeed, which is what she is. She's always on this journey, and as we've seen those pictures, um, you can see that nothing stops her. She is doing whatever is needed of her. And she first started as when she came on Ahlul Bayt TV as a life coach, and she was talking about what she had studied, the impact that's making on people's lives, and immediately, as they say, the rest is history. That's what happened. That when people noticed that this is a very eloquent, articulate person we want to hear, and a very knowledgeable person, and then she started to then talk about those controversial topics on as a Muslim woman speaking first time with no experience of media and journalism, not knowing anything about production, but she took it right away. She bit the bullet. She took the bull by the horns, and she has not stopped talking since then. She has a lot of live shows. It is not easy to be live. I can attest to that. And being a person who has also learned on my feet, I have an idea of how talented this young lady is. She has been recognized for her public speaking, her ability to express and build on content. She's been asked to appear on so many shows, like I said, that it's hard to keep track of them now. And she develops her own content. She appears on live charity shows as well. And then she's gone on to being on other channels. She produces now. She creates her own shows. She appears on channels with an Islamic speaker, a Maulana, on that screen with her. So she's managing sometimes a very live, mainstream kind of person live, and then also Maulana, and managing their opinions, their views, and bringing them together is an art. Believe me, it's an art. And in just 4 years to do this with her own shows, being a guest speaker as well, being invited on other platforms and institutes to talk publicly to live audiences on several topics, on different subjects and issues. She has, as I said, not stopped. She keeps going and going, and she's helped so many individuals on various issues. They contact her from around the globe, like USA, Africa, Europe, Iran, from all backgrounds. People who are faith-based as well as those who have no faith. She says she's on a continuous learning journey of self-development. As she's empowering others, she's getting empowered herself. That's the beauty of this kind of work. The more you do it, the more you become more enlightened. The more people you meet, the more your sense of the world changes, and you become more and more experienced. And to have this opportunity to do that is definitely not just establishments, institutes, and channels. It's God given. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives people these kinds of platforms. Often we feel a bit envious, for lack of a better word. There are other words we could use for this feeling that sometimes comes in some of our hearts, that, how come this person's everywhere? They don't know much, and why them? And what are they doing really to get on all these channels? But you know what? Having been there and done that, I can say this is truly a gift of God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we say, وَتُعِزُّ مَن تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَن تَشَاءُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah says this in the Holy Quran. He is the one who gives this. And you could do whatever it takes to be famous, and you won't be. And people will not respond if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not right there blessing you. Absolutely, I'm a firm believer in that. So she's appeared on mainstream media. She gets regularly invited on BBC Radio. How many women from our faith, I would say not just Shia, but Muslim women in general, do you see on the BBC radio and TV? Alhamdulillah, now a bit more, but this is a trailblazer pioneer who has set the path for a lot of us to do what we're doing now. And we say it's not a big deal, but they've made it easy. They've made it not such a big deal at all. She's spoken on over 100 topics, um, all available on YouTube. Just search her name. She's written programs for individuals to overcome most challenges. And you know what? She's not just in the public arena. You have to understand that. She also produces these shows. That is a lot of doing a lot of behind the scenes work. She helps individuals overcome their challenges. So she's working full time. She's doing all this stuff. A lot of this work, I will say, also one is not always paid for, and yet, that's her passion. She interviews victims of abuse on TV. She interviews them, coaches them. She started shows on British Muslim TV, as we said, about the relationship. Again, a taboo topic. Nobody wants to talk about relationships. Everyone talks to each other about saying, hey, you should get married. But how many people are matchmaking in a very proper, intelligent way, and also talking about the issues that plague singles, and the taboos and the stereotypes and the stigmas. She's appeared on radio in California, USA. She gives talks in centers, as you saw in some of those pictures, with a crowd of not just men and women, but a lot of ulama din. To be in such an intimidating atmosphere, often it can really, throw you off. But that's that confidence, and also the sincerity, and also a firm, I think, a firm faith-based approach that Sister Fahima has. That's why she's able to have this YouTube channel that's really successful, where she talks about techniques for business, relationship issues, overcoming challenges. And in 2020, 2021, she's very much here and now. She's created her own YouTube channel. It's called Coach Talk. And then she speaks at mosques, centers, schools, as well as companies. Companies call her a Muslim woman, a Shia lady, to come and help them address challenges like overcoming fear, being positive, balancing work and life, dealing with all sorts of issues. Her own show on Imam Hussein TV, which is a very well known channel indeed, mashallah. It's called Making a House a Home. And that addresses several more issues, bringing in today's psychology with the teachings of Islam. Not many people do this, bringing the teachings of Islam, as well as just being so with it in the here and now, and knowing exactly how to connect with people, how to see the right things. I am so honored, blessed, and really thrilled to welcome this incredible young lady, a graduate of a business degree, a qualified life coach, certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, an expert certified individual in mindfulness, existential, positive psychology, group and facilitation coach, neuroscience changer, etc., etc. My sister, my friend, my colleague, a lovely human being, Sister Fahima Mahomed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam, Sister Zakira. Thank you so much for having me on today. I really am so humbled invitation, both from yourself and the channel. Thank you so much.
Mashallah, welcome. Sorry, I just think we had perhaps a blip from my side, perhaps, I'm not sure. Wi-Fi issues here. Tell me, Sister Fahima, wow, how in the world did you get into this? Did you always want to be this? Were you that young lady who used to stand with a brush in front of the TV, in front of the mirror, and say, "This is Fahima Mahomed for BBC Radio"? Were you that child, and now your dreams are coming true?
Absolutely not. I've always had a passion for speaking out loud, even at a very young age. I come from a family that are very strong-minded. My dad's quite a diplomat when it comes to his approach of speaking. My mum's very much cutthroat and out there. So I've taken bits of both of them, and I've had to blend it to make myself in a particular way. I didn't have the skills of my delivery of speech, and until I actually learned about life coaching, which was a lot later on, Even when I approached the course and the training, most people had studied psychology. There were counselors, there were barristers, there were consultants that I studied alongside, and they have been researching this for many years. But again, I entered into something very, very quickly that I just liked the sound of it. I thought this is what I wanted to do because I wanted to give back, and I found my calling straight away, and it sat with me. And that I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to me having faith and belief. And when you have that, then yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does place you in directions and makes you, enhance your choices in a particular way. And I really do think that this was more just than a sort of like a journey of professional, it's more spiritual, because I wanted to give back, and I had to obviously learn again, read again, study again. After my degree, I thought I'm never having to study again, but now I can't stop, and it's a personal choice. So there's a difference in my growth, even at an older age than I was. And, that's why, whatever I tell anybody else, I've been through it myself. I'm living through it right now, and I'm still on this journey. So I'm not above anybody either, but I'm just there to support. And most importantly, when we talk about empowerment, a lot of us talk about it. We may even, give the sort of like lectures about it, but to actually put yourself in these positions to really empower and have examples for it, not just on TV, but behind the screens, which is what I do. I give opportunity to people. I support people, encourage them, I lift them. I even let them go way ahead of me, and it does not matter, because this is not a race or a competition, and this is what it's about. And for yourself personally that I have given people platforms so that they can have the space that most people may not have given me, or I had to work for it myself. So that's what I do. So at the end of the day, when I speak, it is all from passion. It is all from net, which a lot of people cannot do. I know I even coach people that actually speak and they come out of their screens and they're not confident, or they second guess it. I am not there. I'm on point with everything I say and do. And because it comes from heart, it comes from mind. Importantly, like you said, it definitely comes from faith.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of you. And this is why I admire you, because I know that power and absolutely power, fame can have the potential to corrupt and make us a bit self absorbed, and also push people back so that we can be at the front. But when you realize somewhere along the way, inshallah, some of us realize that very early, because our faith helps us do that, that you realize at some point, this is not a race. We're all in it together. And when you can make space for someone, and it's not about even sharing the spotlight, it's about being in the spotlight together, that sisterhood that develops. That means I feel that you've really arrived. That means you're so confident that you're like, so what if somebody is ahead of me? I'm proud of this person. And sometimes when you like my posts, or when you forward my messages, and I'm like, wow, I know Fahima is very busy, but she takes the time to use her platform, her fame, to push me forward. That makes me realize how humble you are. I look at these things. There are a lot of very well-known personalities who often forward my post, and I'm like, this is about someone who is not thinking be me first. How Fahima has I want to talk about other people too, but how has the mainstream media treated you when you went there as probably the only Muslim woman sometimes would ever come to a studio physically? And it's really scary. You're there with all these TV, playing different parts of the world, and you've got all these cameras and all this intimidating stuff, especially in the beginning, but even now it can often be intimidating, especially when you go to these mainstream places like BBC. How did people treat you? Did you feel that they were supporting you, or have they made you scared, or how has it been? I'm curious to know.
Um, I look at things very differently, and to be honest, I think it also has to do a lot with personality. My confidence comes from knowing my identity very well and being very strong in my. So I have always, firstly, I don't consider myself being famous, an influencer, or anything like that. So for me, it's just I'm doing my work, and if it so happens to be live on TV or behind the screens, I'm doing it. And secondly, when you ask me about being amongst people, I have always brought up in sort of like Muslim environment. I even live currently in a place where it's generally hardly any muhajjabas, not very many Muslims, and I've always had to grow up like that. I've always put myself in situations and places where, you know, if you're proud and confident of who you are because your, you know, upbringing has taught you that way, and then you yourself take it upon yourself to learn about yourself, so you choose for yourself, then you can be in any situation with anyone. I have been, you know, in boardrooms, I have been in companies, whether it's all Caucasian or white, nothing to do with religion, and it does not faze me at all. And even if I've been on interviews and all they want to do is question me of hijab, I am so willing to do that. Whether I go to schools and, you know, I invite people to my home, they don't have to come from my faith. I am very, very open. That's why I don't want to represent, as Muslims, we cannot just represent in our own communities. We need to represent outside, and I, on a personal one-to-one basis, I don't have a personal community. I don't follow a particular culture. I am very unique in that way, and I have sort of myself out. I'll enjoy certain things from different cultures, but I don't follow that way. And I just think that our religion is beautiful and pure and very simple. And for me to complicate it like everybody else, why would I need that hassle? So when people talk to me, they connect with me very easily, regardless of their background. And they're more intrigued because maybe the appearance might be a little bit alarming or a little bit, you know, off-putting, or just curiosity, whatever it is. But as soon as I open my mouth with anybody, then I always leave that person feeling a lot better even about themselves. And I pick on things and I realize things, and I have a sense of certain people as to how to connect with them, whether they're much older than me, whether they're much younger than me, teenagers even. I've given talks in schools for hundreds of students that are of all faith, and they're the most difficult people to actually, you know, have you to actually listen to. But they actually came afterwards, after my talk, when I was helping them through their studies, through their GCSE, whether it's to transform from primary school to, you know, high school, whether it's to overcome their studies. And when they're 15, 16-year-olds and they want to come and take a picture with you, and you're not a celebrity and you're nothing, and you're just there in a scarf standing and speaking in the assembly room with hundreds of teachers as well as students, and this is the impact that you have, and then they want to talk to you afterwards, then you realize you're doing something, because I get into your head and I understand very well people's behavior, people's, not just studies. This is something more about life experience and seeing things differently. I really do see things very differently, and even more so now. So when people even talk about being professional, yes, you have the paperwork, but there has to be something inside of you that you are searching for, and that is a gift, and that is a talent, and that is divine. That is not even something I can claim for myself.
Absolutely. And Sister Fahima, having, you know, that kind of life as you, I've realized it's not just appearing on camera or on the member or at a podium. There is so much behind the scenes in terms of talking to the people you're organizing an event with, the institution, that you have to be a good human being, a humble human being, an intelligent human being, aware of the nuances of the fact that you're an ambassador for your faith, or the stereotypes that may be triggered, all that, and yet keeping your confidence and not letting yourself be intimidated. People think it's easy. A lot of people look at this and they're like, I want to be that person. It's not just the qualification, but it requires all this other stuff where you should be able to handle things and think on the spot. Be so. You are saying, from what I'm hearing, is that the strength comes from within you, and that even if you're aware that people might be thinking of you this, and this, you don't let that phase you. You are just doing your thing and knowing that this needs to get done. So you don't have time to get scared. You don't want to, even if your heart is pounding and you know that this person's treating me negatively or they think I'm whatever, you just go for it. That's great. But mashallah, there are amazing people in mainstream media who have, as we say, we call them gatekeepers. You know, when there's a glass ceiling and people don't let us go forward. But there are wonderful people in our faith as well as out of our faith who open a gate and say, you deserve a platform. You've met good people in the mainstream media as well?
Absolutely. I have met so many amazing people. Actually, I'm one of the fortunate ones, because I think we all are fortunate and we all project. So when I project good, I know it's going to actually turn out to be in a particular way. Even if someone comes to me with a negative sort of thing, I know how to turn that around because I know how to respond. And secondly, like you said, you know, if my heart's pounding or I get into the opposite, I'm the one that's more intimidating to sense my power.
Yalla, that is freaky.
And you
So,
honestly, I am
so
I am a
how?
very I may not have years of experience, but the fact that when I go for something and I have the passion, you can't learn that. Just like in business, at the end of the day, you can't teach someone to be an entrepreneur. You can the the formula, but in order to put that forward, with most things in life, if you know how to navigate with people, how to connect, how to work in a team, how to be sometimes, inviting, and sometimes to be that person who is going to be able to, if you're going to come near in a particular way. So I have it and I hats. And at the end of the day, I know if I put my mind to something that someone has told me, you know what, you get on that station, I have you on there. I'm like, watch me. Because the thing is, it's not, again, it doesn't come from me. I'm not doing this. Understand. When I have connection with my creator, nothing and no one can come in between. Even if there is a fire or a barrier or thing, I will walk through it. And I've been that in a very short space of time. So when people talk about faith, they actually have no idea what it really means unless you're really connected. Because
Have
describe
you,
it, you can't
Fahima,
really, you can't really
always?
say it.
Have you always been this courageous, feisty little, fiery little girl who was like, there's no word like don't do it. There's no impossible in my dictionary. Were you always this child that was like, Mom, don't say no. I can do this.
Um, I wasn't disobedient when I was younger, but I definitely had expression, and I've just learned how to deliver and express a bit better. I do have my shortfalls because I am feisty, and I do have a sharp tongue, and I do know that, and some serves me, and sometimes it doesn't. But now, how to be better at it. But at the same time, it's a lot of people skills through experience. That's through putting yourself, even in sometimes hot water and coming out of it. But it's not about making mistakes. It's about learning about your mistakes. And I have absolutely no regret in my life. I'm a fighter, and I do not
Has
give up.
has your mother and your father had an influence on, have they had it on making you the woman you are? Absolutely, I'm sure. But in terms of
Absolutely.
saying go for it, and in terms
Absolutely.
of, have you looked at them and are you like, as they say, apple doesn't fall far from the tree? Do you say you're something about from your parents in blood?
Definitely. Definitely. Yes, absolutely. But then if I have parents like that, it's just something else because I have a younger sister. There's only two of us, and she's very different to me. As much as mashallah, she's very academic as well, but she does not have the same sort of personality as me at all. And I, find that it's got nothing. It may have, as studies show that yes, your parents and your influence do have those kind of impact on you. But even in the same family, you can still grow up very differently, and we are very different. And I can sense that. And everybody sees that as well. It's not good or bad, but it is different. And I do have maybe too much confidence, as people say. I do have a lot of passion, and I really don't know where it comes from. I just know I believe, and the more I'm doing it, the more I'm used to it, and it
How
works
do
for
you,
me and grown over time.
so seeing your life and how this amazing young lady has come from this home. So I'm getting this vision of this girl who, her parents are probably thinking, don't even bother trying to stop her. She's gonna do it. Okay, she's gonna do it. How do you bring up such a child who is, since you're a parenting coach, who is so outspoken, who is so brilliant, but how do you channel them towards something productive like you have, where they're not using this voice, this megaphone to say bad things, but to do something positive to change the world? How do you do this?
It all like knowing your meaning and purpose in this world. And I think a lot of us, when we grow up, we are told this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, this is halal, and we know the rules very well, but we don't understand it and we don't know how to live through it. And I had to, even with my parents, me, I had to take that sort of shelf because I had those existential questions, and I had to do my research, and I had to believe not just I was in front of my parents. But when backs were turned, I wanted to know and understand why I'm certain things. We as individuals, as youngsters, question why and get places where it gives us those ideas as to why we are doing certain thing, then it kind of, and then they blossom. Whichever way that is, you will really be able to handle it. Because everything that I've learned, I felt that, okay, now I've got the terminology for it, but I've already had it in me right now. Even most of the stories, I'm thinking someone's learned something from it, but I'm actually just now reflecting back, saying I've already been there, I've already done that, and it's really crazy. I am not at all, but the reason why I say this is because I want to give somebody else the same sort of empowerment, the same sort of potential, the same belief. You don't even have to be outspoken. I actually admire those that don't speak so much, and they don't need to speak so much, and they can still influence in a particular way. Okay,
Being
because they can
outspoken
do it very
can.
nicely.
No, you're right. Being outspoken sometimes is done in such a distasteful way that there's no beauty
Okay.
to it. I mean, you can speak up, you can say things that need to be said, but you can often work against the cause. Like when we're especially on media, on TV, and people like the BBC are holding a microphone right in front of you, and if you get too shrill and too anti this, and this, you can actually have that effect on people where they're like, no, what is this,
Yeah.
but to know how to uh, diplomatically and also psychologically think of what that person's coming from, and be able to, you got to have that mediation and also negotiation skills. You got to have all that. When you are with community, and you are filling a spot on TV that very few people were doing and are still. There's still a lot that needs to be done where we can see more ladies with hijab on the screen. um, you've got the mainstream that you have to deal with. There often, no, you don't deserve to be here, you have to be blonde, blue-eyed, gorgeous to be up here. And of course, alhamdulillah, at least we've got the gorgeous part, but the other part is difficult. But what happens with the community when you are trying to do this, and a lot of people are just naysayers. They say, oh, women shouldn't be up there. Oh, look at what she's wearing. Oh, she didn't wear proper hijab. Oh, she said this on TV. Oh, she didn't say this properly. And we see this with personalities, whether it's Malala Yousafzai or anyone who are suddenly been put in the spotlight, and now they're supposed to be politically correct, know everything, no matter how old they are, no matter how inexperienced they are. A lot of judging going on. Have you had to deal with that as well?
Oh, absolutely. And I dealt with it very well because the thing is, I've had exactly what you've said. People have actually taken a picture of myself, sent it to the Sayyids, complained that I'm not, sort of like, good enough for Islamic TV. So I'm going to put it out there. I said, I'm going to complain to the channels, shouldn't be on there. You don't represent Muslim women, da 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 da. And you know what? It is absolutely fine. That's their projection. Okay. And at first, it threw me a little bit, but you know what? You can only shake me, but you can't break me. And if I get up, I'm going to get up even
Oh.
stronger. So I
Have you
invited these
always
people
been
on my
this way,
show.
Sister Fahima? Where have you built
I
this
am.
strength? You've always been this way.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a fighter.
SubhanAllah.
I can't help it. I'm never a victim. I refuse to be bullied. Refuse to be a victim. I don't care, even if there was like a
Wow.
6 foot guy standing in front of me with, a ton of muscle. I will still come for you if you're coming for me. I will come
Are
straight
you a
back for you.
daredevil? Do you
That's just
bungee
how I
jump?
am.
Have you done
No,
those
I'm
things?
not that. I'm not a bat. It's just that if I'm put into a corner, you know what? I'm gonna go down fighting regardless. That's just how I work.
Love
Okay,
you.
that's how it is.
Wow.
I don't know. It's in my blood. I don't know. Okay.
Wow.
And
I'm so proud of
the
you.
thing is, I just fight back and I don't give up and I stand up for what's right. I guess it's my value. I stand up for what's right. I stand up for what's justice, and I stand up for fairness. And if you do break those boundaries, which is my value, right, then I will stand up for it. And people think that, okay, you're not posting about this, you're not posting about that. But you know what? I do things in my own way. I do not
Yeah.
follow like sheep, and I don't need
Yeah.
to. And I do
And you
what
have
I
to
need to
say
do a lot
something.
behind the scenes. Yeah,
Yes, they said you
absolutely.
should have said
And when
something about
people
this
have
cause
come
and
to
that
me,
cause. Like, whoa.
yeah, no. I'm not like that. I don't
Yeah.
follow. I'm not one of those people that will follow and jump on the bandwagon. I have my
Wow.
own style. I have my own thing, physically, mentally, emotionally. That is me, whether you like it or
I
not.
must
And I'm
say,
happy to say I am not for everyone, and that is absolutely fine. I
I'm
am
so
absolutely
inspired by
fine with
you,
that. And the thing
Sister
is, when you
Fahima.
asked me about dealing with that kind of negativity, I've said, well, you know what? There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there. And, we all sin differently. And I'm not, some sort of like, seducing myself to be in that way. And I do have my faults, and I will take what you say and put it on board. If you respect me, if you can't respect me, then I don't need to listen to that. And if you want to be
Wow.
critical, then that's fine. But then come on my show, and I'm invited people, and I actually had a show with a topic specifically for that, cattiness. And it's mainly amongst the women as well, unfortunately. And I said, well, if you want to speak, there's a show, there's a live call. You can either say yes or call in live. We did call. Give you the opportunity, because to do what we do, as it is not, you're going to be picked on. And I'm like, it's fine, bring it on. Let's just be on the
Wow.
same, platform and the same level. If you're going to pick on me, then, we'll do it equally then. Because if it's something
You
that you're going
know,
to say about me, somebody else will say something else about you.
when you brought up, I'm really inspired by you, personally right now, because I'm thinking, you brought up with turn the other cheek. You brought up with, oh, you don't speak up loudly. You don't, women shouldn't say that, shouldn't do that. Even us who are so out there, we still have those internalized things where, don't rock the boat. And then there's all these nasty ladies out there. Absolutely, men, I think sometimes are the best supporters. In my experience, I've seen that.
Yes.
But women can be so, there's no sisterhood. Forget competitiveness. There's this kind of thing where you're saying taking pictures and
Yeah.
complaining about you, and a lot of us get intimidated by that, and cry and say, forget it, I'm not cut out for this, I'll never do this, and maybe
Yes.
they're right what they say about me, and and that kind of I mean, I'm getting that vision of us being in a boxing match, and then you're that person that that the referee is like, get up off the ground. I'm counting now, and then your coach is sitting there going, "Come on, you can do this. Get up!" Right? You've got all these, and some people never get up. You're that person who
Yes.
is saying, "You know what? Try me." And there's this awesome
Exactly.
comment from Toronto, Shabni Sivji from Toronto, saying salams, power to our guest Fahima and host. And she said that in the beginning of the show, and that was when you hadn't even talked about what a powerful, feisty person you are. Immediately she was saying powerful lady when she heard the comments about you and the feedback and the voiceover that I had done. And then she says, way to go, Fahima, keep up the good work. It takes a lot of courage to do what you are doing. This is from Toronto, and a very strong lady. I know her personally. She's my sister. She's saying, you radiate good energy. What helps you cope with constant negative people? And such an important question, because I've seen her as a leader of a community. She's a very famous lady herself, and very talented academically as well as at her work. She has had that big position, but the strongest of women often cry because people
Yes.
make them feel like you're nobody. Go home, go be quiet. And it's not the people you expect it from. It's from your own people, sometimes within your own family, sometimes within your own children, your own daughters.
Yes.
Sometimes it is a fellow woman in the community who herself is quite out there, but tells you you shouldn't be
Hmm.
out there. Do you know what people are saying about you? How do you deal with negative people, Fahima?
Well, again, it comes back that I'm not doing it for anyone. Okay. And these don't matter to me. I am doing it because I know, even if I touch one person, and I do every single time, where I have helped them through even suicide, through trauma, they call me crying, they call me in real tragedy, they call me in real stress and distress. And I know how I can uplift them, and I can do it in a very short space of time as well. So for me, those moments give me the courage to know what, my job is much more important, because it's not about me. A lot of people, they want to be speakers because they want to be known. They want to do this kind of job because it actually, enhances their personality and profession. Like I said, if somebody else could do what I can do, I'm like, go forward. But it just happens to be me. I have been chosen to do this, so I'm just doing a job. Okay, it is not about the fame and the fortune or anything like that, or the sort of whatever. It just comes with a package, and I cannot, with my own mother, definitely cannot be on any sort of like high horse, because she really does put me in my place even up to this age, and I thank her for that. So I am seen the same. I am not given any special treatment, but they love me tremendously, and the same from born till now, regardless of my position. And they always remind me of who I am and what I'm doing. So, to have that kind of backing and to have that kind of, thing instilled in you does help. And again, I can still take this and put this in a particular way and look at this platform as something high, but I am not, because just like how we've known in this pandemic that, once you're up there, you can go straight down. And I don't forget these kind of things. So at the end of the
Wow.
day, I'm living like as if I am on a magic carpet. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do it for me. I have conversations with him every single day.
Wow.
So that is my
Allahumma
power.
salli ala.
Okay. I don't leave the Quran. A lot of people think, oh, I don't look religious. I don't represent religion, but I know what I do behind the scenes. There's not a day I do not open up the Quran, regardless of Muharram, regardless of, Ramadan. I have my routine. I have a very, very balanced life. And for me, my first and foremost is my faith. I, perform behind the scenes. And I don't want to say this just to again, to impress anyone. This is my thing. But the reason why I'm saying this, because
Thank you for
if
sharing
people from my
this.
faith,
It,
and
it
the only
inspires us.
advice I can give someone is to say, I'm doing this, and I know even all the techniques I'm giving you, it's going to work. It's going to take you so far. But what's going to really take you far is when you wake up for Fajr, when you pray Salatul Layl, when you open that Quran and even kiss it every day and you read a page, because this is what I do. And this is all I can really give. And this is a gift. This is a treasure. Now, people don't get that, and then they complain. I know what it means to be Muslim. It is not just the name. It is not just wearing abaya. It is not just wearing hijab. It is not having, speaking a particular language or showing up in a particular community and, setting. I am way beyond that. Okay. There's another level out there, which, hardly anyone can touch, because I am the connection between me and my creator, and I've got it. And that's what gives me
Mashallah.
everything that you're asking me. It's all from there. And that's it. It's very simple, very easy.
So what I'm learning from you here, Fahima, also about you as a human being, is confident as you are, you're still humble enough to listen to the women who matter, and that is your mother. Well, when she tells you, I don't quite agree with that, what you did, you can put it in perspective
Absolutely.
too, that mom, you don't know, okay, this is necessary what I'm doing. But on the other hand, you're also listening to her and saying, okay, mom, I'll go down a notch. And we need those. We need a few very special human beings in our lives, women as well as men, who we can trust, that they're not about competition, they're not about bringing us down, they're not jealous, whatever, all that stuff, that you can trust, and they're saying, that's good, but next time do it like this. Because absolutely, we're in a jungle of wolves often, and people are there just to pull us down. And now with social media, with all this name calling and all that stuff that can go on, the trolls. So number one, I'm seeing that you're saying also keeping a woman, someone in your life that you can also check in with, okay? And that's good to have. It's good to have someone who can be completely honest, who loves us enough to say, I don't like how that came out. And so that's good. Number two, believing so much in oneself that you're realizing, I'm not here to win a popularity contest. All right? You don't like what I do?
Yes,
Turn off the channel. You can definitely, or you don't like what I
exactly.
do? Please come on TV and let's talk about it together. We don't have to have a boxing match. I give you a platform to say it openly. And also, another thing I heard from you is that there's room for everybody here. Whether you're a life coach, or you're a physiotherapist, or a psychotherapist, or a psychiatrist, or an Islamic scholar who has been in the Hausa for 20 years, or one who has just done self study and is on the member, there's room for everybody, because Allah gives us that room, all right? You don't like it,
Yes.
that's up to you, but you don't have to tell others you shouldn't be there. Come down right now off that. I should be there, or not even I should be there. They shouldn't be there. Just being those trolls. you're not even looking at all of that. I am really impressed,
No.
Fahima, because honestly, I don't see you as that person who's, in a crumbled heap at night saying, "This person said I'm not worth it," or they didn't praise. As little girls, we have grown up with saying, "Mom, look at my pretty dress," or "Daddy, do I look pretty?" And then until people say, "You are pretty, you are worthy, you are qualified, you deserve this spot." Often our parents will say, "Did anyone praise you today when you went, when you got that award? Did people say good job?" And then there's others who say, "How many likes did you get? Oh, you only had 500 views." These are the things that hold us back, Fahima? Because
Yes,
we
absolutely.
we weigh our success and our strength based on other people's opinions and likes and views. And that can shatter us. When you give people that strength to make you, you're giving them the strength to break you. And you don't even let
Absolutely.
those naysayers even speak in your mind. You don't give them space in your alone moments, huh,
No.
Fahima?
No,
Wow.
no, absolutely not. I have no time for
My
that.
God. I want to be you,
Even like so
Fahima.
many
I want
people.
to learn from you. Can I sign up for your coaching? Because I'm a very vulnerable person. I'm a very vulnerable person. But when I see what you're doing, I'm realizing, um, who cares what other people say? As long as you know
Exactly.
Allah is with you and you're saying something good and other
Exactly.
people are benefiting from your words. Forget those trolls you're saying. Yes?
I know it's easy to say than do, but it takes practice. But for me, like I said, when you know you've come from even a challenge, no one's really there, and you know who is there. So no one's,
Mm.
and at the end of the day, even if you have your family, your parents, when you sit alone, the only person, the only thing that I peace and ease up till today is when I'm in Dada, when I'm praying, when that's the moment I would cry and be vulnerable. That's the moment I would share. And that's when I will get the rewards. I get the miracles shown me every single day. I feel like I'm on a flying carpet. I know what's my next move. I don't know. I don't have like a 10-year, 5-year plan. I never did before. I don't have now. And even if I did, I know it will change, and that's not going to change either. Because, people don't understand tawakkul. They do not understand trust. And for me, it's in my veins. It's in my blood. It's so in right now that I am alone, but I feel like I have a force and power of an army, even if I stand alone. So, because this is how I actually feel. And you can sense it. And like you said, there's energy. People feel my energy, people sense it. Okay. So I cannot fake this either. And this is not just words. These are things that, you yourself can feel and sense. And you attract all of that. And the more you
Wow.
have that belief, then I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, makes you have a gift of seeing certain things and taking away certain things. And when I even want to have a talk or a conversation, people bad social media is, but I know I've kind of like, blocked certain things out, even if I'm their friends. And what comes up is an article exactly to do with what I'm reading. So now it's just like that. And things just come up to so easily. Okay, the law of attraction, all of these things we talk about in today's day and age, I am living it because of my belief. And people don't get that. And people understand it. And that is absolutely fine. But I help people through that. But you need to do
Wow.
the practice. We don't practice. We don't practice, and we want so much back when we don't even do the basics. So we need to start with the basics. And for me, the
Wow.
basics is doing extra dhikr, is doing the extra sort of prayer, is doing the extra sort of things, not just in Muharram and Ramadan. I'm sorry. For me, that's just to elevate me to the next level. But this is what you got to do. And you tell me how many people that do that. They find it so hard to wake up for Fajr, yet they all night and watch a movie on Netflix. Now, for me, that doesn't make sense. So then don't come and complain with me when you're going to not do the basics. So for me,
Wow. So you,
that's
you have a
how
very
it works. You
balanced,
got to
you
start
have a you have
very
a
balanced.
disciplined life, and you say
Very
your day
disciplined.
is very set together.
Yes,
And Fahima, what I'm hearing from
absolutely.
you is that um that voice from inside has to be strong. You don't let people bring you down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding myself very energized talking to you because um this strength has to come from within, and only God. That's it. God is that strength from
Yes.
within, and that we
Yes.
can't let people bring us down. When you are seeing all these amazing women come up out there, I mean, there's so many of us now, mashallah, hijab, wearing hijab,
Absolutely. Yes.
really representing the faith on every channel, and so talented, so educated. They're just like passing everybody by. We're so happy. Is sisterhood important in all of this? How important is it to be a supporter of a fellow influencer? I mean, I'm for use. This is not a nice word, but you know what? Let's face it. We influence people by the words we say, by the strength we give them.
Let's be honest,
How
we
important
shouldn't
it is.
follow people to support them. It's important to follow people because you genuinely are happy for them and you want them to progress. Again, we also do things out of ego. We want to follow people because we want to be part of their clique and their group and we want to be seen in a particular way. All right. So I
Mm,
understand, human behavior very well. So don't even be, fooled by the people that even do follow you for a particular reason. Again, just for their own. You need to do it you genuinely without them, just like in relationships. If someone that you love genuinely, you should love them if they're with or without you, and no one can do that easily. Okay, you should be happy for them even if they're not choosing you. That's real love, and people don't understand that. So if you really want to be a sister, you should be able to lift somebody up even if it's got nothing to do with you and your name's not even spoken, because it's all about in the end doing things because they want to elevate themselves. I'm your sister, I'm supporting you, I'm doing this, you don't get the reciprocation back, then it's a problem. That's not sisterhood and that's not support. You should just do it, because I have friendships over years that I only connect maybe once in a blue moon, but we connect like as if we've never had a part moment, because the thing is that's genuine.
Subhanallah. And Sister Fahima, people will say that it's easy to be this positive, this empowered, this, thick-skinned when you've had no adversity in your life, when everything is hunky-dory. Do you agree with that? Is your life perfect? Everything is fine, that everything is,
There's no such
with
thing
all
as
these.
perfect. And just, yeah, no, there's no such thing as perfect. And I've had plenty of adversity. If you want to go on my links and you see that I actually came from adversity and I started this because I did hit rock bottom and I was really starting from scratch. And I didn't come up because, I had a family name or I had money and finance or anything. I had to do things from scratch, from the bottom. So there's no such thing as that. But all I know is adversity, just like in Islam, it says that this life's a test, but they don't tell you that that test is your opportunity to grow if only you know how to use it. And, I had to learn that the hard way too. So this is
So
not
you,
like as if, yeah, I've got good parents, I've got everything, and I was brought up in a rosy sort of thing. Absolutely not. We've all got our stories, we've all got our skeletons. But like I said, I choose not to be a victim. I choose not to fall. I choose not to give up. And I do not ever, ever, let things get to me because I'm a fighter.
so you're not defined by your pain or your
No,
strength. You're
no,
just
neither.
doing your stuff. You're just that
Exactly.
energizer bunny just going on. You know what I like about you, Fahima, also is that you've got that same energy that I do, and I know a lot of women like us. But often we sometimes have to tone it down. Not just our power and our achievements. We have to sometimes be so humble because it intimidates others. But also even this energy level that where we talk so much and we're so like people often want to describe this as high strung or hyper or on drugs or
Even
on two
arrogant. I've been called arrogant plenty times,
yeah,
so I'm
or
used to
on
that.
10 coffees, right, on too much caffeine or maybe some drug. But I honestly, I always say, when people say, what are you on, my kids ask me that, mommy, how many coffees? And I'm like, I haven't had my coffee today. But I say this is the ishq wilaya, this is the love of Imam Ali alayhi salam, the love of God, that even if I'm in the middle of a huge storm and everything's falling apart in my life, I'm still this, energized and da 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 talking, and people are like, you know what, tone it down. But you don't tone it down for people, Fahima. I love that about you. I feel like, talking to you makes me feel like, yeah, if you find I'm too energetic, um you don't have to talk to me then. I've never said that
Exactly.
in my life, but
Exactly.
I'm getting that from you. I feel empowered right now because I feel, and I know a lot of women like this who are, the kind who'll take a picture in a gathering or who'll say, let's all, hold hands, and, and everyone's like, oh my God, this person is like so, extra, they call us, or, too emotional, to this, to this, to that. And I think I realize now, Fahima, if we weren't to any of this, we wouldn't be where we are right now. This is our strength.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But there is a balance, and I do know how to be with certain people. I can read people very well. And if I'm extra, it's only because it's my passion that shows through, and that's only in certain moments. But a lot of the times, I can be very mellow. I listen a lot, and more importantly, I support people, and I lift people, and I encourage people. And you know what? We don't have enough of that. That's real sisterhood, not to just, do things because it's going to make you look good. And I do things in the quiet most of the time. People don't know, what exactly I do and how I actually
It
do it. And
shows.
that's the real work. That's the real
The
work.
truth is, Fahima, when you're sincere, Allah will bring you up because that's Allah's promise. Also, when you're doing it for the fame, that also shows. Eh?
Oh,
It shows.
absolutely.
It's Allah makes it apparent as well. He takes away those veils so that the person who did it for the fame and fortune, it becomes exposed. But we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who's Satar al Ayub, to keep all of us covered. We all, like you said, skeletons. We all have our challenges, vulnerabilities. And the fact that you counsel abused women, women who are suffering, who are people who are suicidal, shows me that absolutely there is this gentle, very calm, quiet side of you as well that can listen, that can hold a hand across the miles, that can make a
Yes.
person feel that. And I understand why there you have some huge diehard fans. For lack of a better word, fans is not what we like, but there is no other word because of the and they call us celebrities, which we're not also, but there are people who love you a lot, Fahima. I understand why. You are that coach for that person who's fallen in a boxing match, and you're like, you can do this. Get up. And if that requires you to sometimes scold them and say, get up now, okay? This is not a time to be a
Yes.
sissy. All right. A lot depends on you getting up. Do it now. So you're able to do whatever needs to be done. You are a true life coach, and I understand now. A person doesn't have to have that PhD after their name or be called a psychotherapist or psychiatrist, psychologist, or any of those words to be a good human being who just helps people. You're a people helper. You're a people empowerer.
Definitely. And I'm definitely not self-righteous, and I know my shortcomings, and I do have my vulnerabilities, and you know what? I own it 100%, and I'm still on a working journey myself to continuously learn and develop. So you want to call me out on anything, please do so, because it's only going to highlight what else I need to work on. That's it, simple. But it's definitely not going to put me down if that's the intention.
SubhanAllah, Sister Fahima, we are so proud of you. I speak for a lot
Thank
of people I
you.
know, and but I speak for myself as well. I'm proud of you. You go, girl, is all I can come up with right now. More power to you, sister, and you're those Powerpuff Girls. Those little feisty ones. I think we could come up with an animation and we could make a cartoon easily, a meme. And you're so much fun to be with. I can't wait for this pandemic to be over so we can have some kind of huge sisters conference or something, and really
Absolutely.
and really empower women. Thank you for being a life empowerer through media and through coaching. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here on Hidayat TV, giving us your precious time, which costs a lot of people to access, but you gave it to us like this. God bless you. It shows that you're a true human being who really wants to help the cause, and you are an ambassador of Islam and a true helper of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam to spread their word and to be a woman of faith who gives women faith. Love you so much, Sister Fahima.
Thank you.
Keep up.
Thank
Keep up.
you. My real, I'm so happy to be here, and I really do thank you and the team as well as the channel for giving me the space as well. Truly humbled by your invitation, by the way. So thank you so much.
Love you. Take care. Be strong and keep going. And our duas are with you. Wassalamu alaikum wa
Allah Hafiz.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, join.